Good morning, my friends. It is wonderful to be here with all of you today. I am so excited to share this message with you because it is perhaps the most important skill that any of us can develop, not just for our careers and businesses, but for our lives. The ability to learn to act in uncertainty. You see, my friends, we live in a world of tremendous change and volatility. Nothing is certain anymore. The old certainties and the old ways of doing things have all been swept away. The future is unknown, unknowable, and filled with ambiguity. And this can be very unsettling and frightening for many people. But I'm here to tell you today that this ability to act and thrive in the face of uncertainty is perhaps the most important skill you can develop. Because the future belongs to those who are able to adapt and respond quickly to changing circumstances. The future belongs to those who are comfortable with risk and uncertainty and who are willing to make decisions and take action even when they don't have all the answers. You see, for most of human history, the world was much more stable and predictable place. People were born into a certain social class, a certain profession, a certain way of life, and they could pretty much expect that their lives would unfold in a certain way, following a certain path. But today, all of that has changed. The old certainties are gone. The future is no longer written. And this is both exciting and terrifying at the same time. On the one hand, we have incredible opportunities that our ancestors could scarcely have imagined. We have the ability to reinvent ourselves, to change careers, to start new businesses, to travel the world, to explore new ideas and new ways of living. The possibilities are endless. But on the other hand, this uncertainty can also be very unsettling. It can make us feel anxious and insecure. It can make us want to cling to the old ways, to the familiar, to the comfortable. And this is a natural human response. We are wired to seek certainty and to avoid risk and ambiguity. But my friends, I'm here to tell you today that if you want to succeed in this new world, if you want to thrive and prosper, then you must learn to embrace uncertainty. You must learn to act and make decisions even when you don't have all the answers. You must learn to be comfortable with risk and to see it not as a threat, but as an opportunity. Because the truth is, the future belongs to those who are willing to step out into the unknown, to take a chance, to try new things, to experiment and innovate. The future belongs to those who are able to adapt and respond quickly to changing circumstances. And the good news is that this is a skill that can be learned and developed just like any other skill. So how do we do this? How do we learn to act in uncertainty? Well, the first and most important thing is to develop a mindset of abundance and possibility. Instead of seeing uncertainty as a threat, we must learn to see it as an opportunity. We must learn to embrace the unknown, to welcome change, to be excited by the possibilities that it presents. And this starts with our own mindset and our own beliefs. We must let go of the old certainties, the old ways of doing things, and we must be willing to step out into the unknown. We must be willing to take risks, to experiment, to try new things. But of course, this is easier said than done because change is hard and uncertainty can be very uncomfortable. So we must also develop a set of practical strategies and tools to help us navigate this new landscape. The first of these is the ability to gather information and make decisions quickly. In a world of uncertainty, we can no longer afford to wait for all the information to come in before we make a decision. We must learn to act with incomplete information, to make decisions based on what we know in the moment, and to be willing to adjust and pivot as new information becomes available. This means developing the ability to gather information quickly, to assess the relevant factors, and to make decisions with confidence even when we don't have all the answers. It means being comfortable with ambiguity and being willing to take action even when the path forward is not entirely clear. But of course, this is just the beginning. Because acting in uncertainty also requires a certain mindset and set of skills that go beyond just decision making. It requires a willingness to learn and adapt, to be flexible and agile, to be willing to experiment and try new things. And this is where the power of resilience comes in. Because in a world of uncertainty, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and to keep moving forward is absolutely essential. We must be willing to take risks, to fail, and to learn from our mistakes. We must be willing to pivot and change course when necessary, without letting our egos or our pride get in the way. And this is where the power of perseverance and determination comes in. Because acting in uncertainty requires a level of persistence and grit that many people simply don't have. It requires the willingness to push through the fear and the discomfort, to keep going even when the path forward is not entirely clear. And this is where the power of focus and discipline comes in. Because in a world of uncertainty, it's easy to get distracted and to lose our way. We must learn to stay focused on our goals and our priorities, and to make decisions and take actions that are aligned with our values and our vision for the future. But perhaps most importantly, acting in uncertainty requires a deep sense of self-belief and self-confidence. Because when the ground is constantly shifting beneath our feet, when the future is unknown and unknowable, we must have a strong sense of who we are and what we're capable of. We must be willing to trust ourselves, to rely on our own instincts and our own inner wisdom, even when the external world is telling us to do something different. And this is where the power of personal growth and development comes in. Because the more we invest in ourselves, in our own growth and learning, the more confident and capable we become. The more we learn and the more we expand our knowledge and our skills, the better equipped we are to navigate the uncertainty and the challenges that come our way. So my friends, if you want to thrive in this new world of uncertainty, if you want to be one of the people who not only survives but who thrives and prospers, then you must be willing to learn to act in uncertainty. You must be willing to embrace the unknown, to take risks, to experiment and innovate. You must be willing to gather information quickly, to make decisions with confidence, and to be willing to adjust and pivot as needed. You must be willing to develop a mindset of abundance and possibility, to be resilient and persistent in the face of setbacks and challenges. And you must be willing to invest in your own personal growth and development, to build your confidence and your self-belief, to trust in your own instincts and your own inner wisdom. Because the future belongs to those who are willing to step out into the unknown, to take a chance, to try new things. The future belongs to those who are comfortable with risk and uncertainty and who are willing to make decisions and take action, even when they don't have all the answers. And my friends, I believe that each and every one of you has the potential to be one of those people. I believe that you have the courage, the resilience, and the determination to learn to act in uncertainty, to embrace the unknown, and to thrive in this new and exciting world. All right, let me dive deeper into this concept of learning to act in uncertainty. I'll continue the speech in the style of Brian Tracy. My friends, I can sense your energy and enthusiasm in the room. You're ready to take on this challenge, to step out into the unknown and embrace the uncertainty that lies ahead. And I'm here to tell you that this is exactly the mindset you need to cultivate. Because the truth is, the future is ours to create. It's not set in stone, it's not predetermined, it's a blank canvas waiting for us to pick up our brushes and start painting. But in order to do that, we have to be willing to take risks, to experiment, to try new things. And that's where the real magic happens, my friends. Because it's in those moments of uncertainty when we're outside of our comfort zones that we have the greatest opportunity for growth and transformation. Think about it. That's when was the last time you truly challenged yourself? When you took on a project or a goal that was completely new and unfamiliar to you, wasn't that one of the most exhilarating and rewarding experiences of your life? Didn't you surprise yourself with what you were capable of? That's the power of acting in uncertainty. It pushes us to expand our horizons, to tap into our hidden potential, to become the best version of ourselves. And the more we do it, the more comfortable and confident we become. But I know it's not always easy. Uncertainty can be scary, it can be overwhelming. We can't always see the path ahead, and that can be paralyzing. But that's where the real work comes in. Because the key to thriving in uncertainty is not to try to eliminate it or avoid it altogether. That's simply not possible in today's world. No, the key is to develop the skills and the mindset to navigate it effectively. And that starts with cultivating a deep sense of self-awareness and self-belief. When the ground is constantly shifting beneath our feet, we have to have an unshakable foundation within ourselves. We have to know who we are, what we stand for, what our values and priorities are. because it's that inner compass that will guide us, even when the external world is in flux. It's that inner confidence that will allow us to make decisions and take actions, even when we don't have all the answers. And my friends, the good news is that this is a skill that can be developed and honed over time. It's not something that you're either born with or not. It's something that you can actively work on and improve through practices like self-reflection, journaling, and mindfulness. We can start to understand ourselves more deeply. We can identify our strengths, our weaknesses, our passions, and our triggers. We can learn to listen to our intuition and our inner wisdom, and to trust ourselves even when the world around us is in chaos. And as we do this inner work, we'll start to see the results manifest in our outer lives as well. We'll become more adaptable, more resilient, more willing to take risks and try new things. We'll be able to make quicker decisions, to pivot and change course more easily, to bounce back from setbacks with greater ease. Because at the end of the day, my friends, the ability to act in uncertainty is not just a skill, it's a mindset, a way of being in the world. It's about having the courage to step out into the unknown, to embrace the discomfort and the vulnerability that comes with it, and to trust that we have what it takes to navigate it successfully. And when we cultivate that mindset, when we make that commitment to ourselves, the world opens up in incredible ways. We start to see opportunities where others see only obstacles. We start to feel a sense of excitement and possibility even in the face of uncertainty. Because we know that we have the tools, the resources, and the resilience to handle whatever comes our way. We know that we have the ability to adapt, to learn, to grow, to create the future that we want to see. And that, my friends, is the true power of acting in uncertainty. It's not just about surviving in a volatile and unpredictable world. It's about thriving in it. It's about using that uncertainty as a springboard to unlock our full potential, to become the best versions of ourselves. My friends, I can see the excitement and the hunger in your eyes. You're ready to dive in, to start putting these principles into practice. And I'm here to tell you that the journey ahead is not going to be easy, but it will be deeply rewarding. Because the truth is, learn to act in uncertainty is not just a nice-to-have skill. It's an absolute necessity in today's rapidly changing world. The old rules, the old certainties, they're all out the window. The future is uncharted territory, and the only way to thrive is to develop the agility and the resilience to navigate it. But where do we start? What are the specific strategies and mindsets that we need to cultivate in order to become masters of uncertainty? Well, the first and most important thing is to cultivate a mindset of growth and adaptability. You see, the old way of thinking, the idea that we can plan and control every aspect of our lives and our businesses, that's simply no longer viable. The world is moving too fast. The changes are too unpredictable. Instead, we have to learn to be comfortable with the idea of planned spontaneity. We have to embrace the idea that we can't predict the future, but we can prepare for it. We have to be willing to experiment, to try new things, to pivot and change course as needed. And that requires a fundamental shift in the way we approach our goals and our decision making. Instead of rigidly sticking to a fixed plan, we have to learn to be more fluid, more responsive to the changing conditions around us. We have to be willing to let go of our preconceptions and our biases and to stay open to new information, new ideas, and new possibilities. But of course, that's easier said than done. Our brains are wired to seek out patterns, to try to impose order on a chaotic world. And the idea of letting go of that control, of embracing uncertainty, can be deeply unsettling. That's why the next key strategy is to cultivate a strong foundation of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Because when the ground is constantly shifting beneath our feet, we need to be able to rely on our own inner resources, our own ability to stay grounded and centered. We have to learn to tune into our emotions, to understand our triggers and our biases, and to develop the emotional resilience to handle the ups and downs of uncertainty. We have to learn to manage our stress and anxiety, to stay focused and calm even in the face of chaos. And that means engaging in regular practices of self-reflection, meditation, and mindfulness. It means taking the time to understand our values, our strengths, and our weaknesses, It means learning to trust our intuition and our inner wisdom even when the external world is telling us something different. But it's not just about managing our own emotions. It's also about developing the ability to read and respond to the emotions of others. Because in an uncertain world, the ability to empathize, to communicate effectively, and to build strong relationships becomes absolutely essential. So we have to learn to listen deeply, to ask the right questions, and to create an environment of trust and collaboration. We have to be willing to embrace diverse perspectives, to seek out feedback and input, and to continuously learn and adapt. And that brings us to the next key strategy: continuous learning and skill development. Because in a world of uncertainty, the only way to stay ahead of the curve is to be constantly expanding our knowledge and our capabilities. We have to be willing to step out of our comfort zones, to take on new challenges and new opportunities for growth. We have to be curious, we have to be inquisitive, we have to be eager to learn and experiment. Whether it's taking a course, reading a book, or seeking out a mentor, we have to be constantly investing in our own personal and professional development. We have to be willing to try new things, to take risks, to fail and learn from those failures. And when we do that, my friends, something amazing happens. We start to see the world not as a series of obstacles and challenges, but as a vast and limitless playground of possibilities. We start to feel a sense of excitement and adventure rather than fear and uncertainty, because we know that we have the tools, the resources, and the resilience to navigate whatever comes our way. We know that we can adapt, we can pivot, we can create the future that we want to see. And that, my friends, is the true power of learning to act in uncertainty. It's not just about surviving in a volatile and unpredictable world. It's about thriving in it. It's about using that uncertainty as a springboard to unlock our full potential, to become the best versions of ourselves. So let's do it. Let's embrace the unknown. Let's step out into the uncharted territory, and let's see what amazing things we can create together. Because the future is ours to shape, and the only limit is our own imagination. Are you ready? Let's get started.